Well, it's Christmas, so I hope you've all got your Christmas jumpers on and it's got some Christmas music going in the background, and of course you've got your cushion and maybe a blanket for the relaxation at the end. But first, a little bit of hard work. So if you just want to gently, please roll down onto your back the best way you know how. Maybe just stretch out one leg, hold on behind the thigh, on the other leg, and roll gently down. Or you can always put the hands behind you, support yourself as you roll down, or you could just roll over onto one side and then roll over onto your back. And bring the chin down over the peach. Stretch the fingertips towards the toes to get the length in the neck. Little grape, of course, in the small of your back. Trade marbles across the pelvis, not allowing the pelvis to tilt, crush the grape, or arch the back off the grape. So the neutral spine, orange width between the knees, and feet rooted into the floor. And then from there, just start off with a shoulder shrug. Squeeze the shoulders up and then stretch towards the toes. Maybe breathing in to squeeze up and breathing out to stretch away. So just squeezing up and stretching down. Putting those shoulders right up into the ears and reaching for the toes. So just warming up the shoulders. And then squeezing up and then reaching for the toes here. Relax the shoulders, let them just sink into the mat. And then start to draw with your nose a figure of 8 in the air. So starting off in the center, just drawing that figure of 8 in the air. Nice and smooth, getting some flexibility into the neck. And then when you're ready, change direction and make it go the other way. Just drawing that figure of 8 with the nose in the air, getting flexibility into the neck and warming it up. Then come back to the center of your figure of 8 and then just nod the head. Give the peach a bit of a squeeze, release, turn the head and look to the right, bring it back to center, do the nod, get the length in the neck, release, turn the head, look to the left. And repeat. So lengthening through the back of the neck as you bring your chin down. Turn the head, look as far as you can over the right shoulder. Bring it back and do the nod. And release. And turn the head, keeping everything else absolutely stable while you do this. Again, just getting flexibility, mobility into the neck. Length in the back of the neck. And when you've done equal numbers of turns in both directions, just again nod the head and then release and pop your peach back underneath. And then from here, just put the hands on the fronts of the thighs. Breathing in, nod the head, pick the peach up, and breathing out, curl up, head, shoulders off the floor. Reach up with your fingertips towards your knees and then gently bring it back down. Breathing in to nod, breathing out to curl up, reaching up. Hold, breathe in, breathing out. Gently roll it back down. So you're just reaching all the way up, fingertips right up to the tops of the knees, and then gently rolling back down. Remember, if you need to, of course, you can support the head with one hand while you reach up with the other arm, but make sure you don't twist your upper body, keeping the shoulders level. And again, always you can use both the hands if you need to, but see if you can press your head into your hands and your hands into your head, while keeping the elbows right back. So there's as little strain on your neck as possible. But if you can, you're sliding those fingertips all the way up. As far as you can, right up to the tops of the knees. And then maybe just one more time, breathing in to nod, breathing out to curl, reach up, press that tummy button into the backbone, and gently back down again. So it's just ribs to hips. Then relax down and let the head roll from side to side. Ease out any tension in the neck. Keep reaching for your toes to keep the length through the shoulders. And then bring it back to the central position. And breathing in to tilt the pelvis. And breathing out to release. So just tilting the pelvis, press the tummy button into the backbone, bring the hip bones into the bottom of the rib cage. And just tilt, try and keep the chin down, try not to tilt the chin back while you tilt your pelvis. And then just warming up and getting that spine moving. Scooping out the tummy, keep the buttocks relaxed. And then making sure you've got your heels directly underneath your knees, add a bridge onto that. Breathing in to tilt, breathing out to pick the hips up, hold up at the top to breathe in, and breathing out, link by link, bone by bone, back to the mat. Tilt the pelvis back into neutral, put a new grape in, and start again. So it's just breathing in to tilt, breathing out to peel off, remember, like a bicycle chain, all the way up, nice straight line from knee to shoulder, like a ski sled, and then link by link, bone by bone, articulate your spine back down, crush the grape, tilt the pelvis back into neutral. The next time, add that pelvic floor in. Breathing in to tilt. Breathing out, pick up the hips, pick up the pelvic floor. Hold up at the top. Feel those buttocks clench now. Balance, shoulder blade, shoulders, soles of the feet. And then link by link, bone by bone, one vertebra at a time, you come back down. Tilt the pelvis back into neutral, going again. Breathing in to tilt, breathing out to pick the hips up. Hold up at the top and balance. And then gently, gently bring it back down again. Remember, you're holding onto that orange between the knees, then the inner thighs will work a little bit, but keeping you in alignment. Tummy muscles, buttocks, working as you push up, as well as the hamstrings. Holding and balancing at the top, and then gently, gently bringing it back down. And then maybe one more time. Just scoop out the tummy. Don't forget to pick up that pelvic floor each time as well, pulling up between the legs. Holding that for as long as you can, activating that pelvic floor, and then gently, gently bring it back down. Holding that there. Then just hug the knees into the chest and bring the head up into the knees. Nose to knees, knees to nose. Make yourself into a ball. Remember, you can always wrap one arm around the legs while you support the head with the other hand. And just curve in. Nose to knees, knees to nose. Get a good stretch through the buttocks and your lower back. And then just gently putting one foot down, the other foot down. Then bring the knees and the feet together, so losing the orange now. Taking the arms out to the side crucifix position, the palms turned down. And keeping the neck in line, take a breath in, and as you breathe out, roll the knees over to the right side while you turn your head and look along that left arm. Hold to breathe in, and breathing out, bring it back to center. Hold to breathe in, and breathing out, take it the other way. Hold to breathe in, and breathing out, bring it back to center. So just getting more flexibility into the spine and the neck. So nice, smooth, and with control. Looking along the arm, taking those knees as far over as you can, keeping the knees together, then the inner thighs will work a little bit too. So lots of flexibility and mobility. And then if you want to stay with that level, of course you can stay with that level. Otherwise, you lift one knee up into tabletop, press your back into the mat, crush the grape, lift the other leg up into tabletop. Keep the knees and the feet together, and then roll the knees over, not too far, and turn the head and look over that left arm when your legs are going to the right. Hold to breathe in, and breathing out, bring it back to center. So maybe think about having the knees at 12 on your clock. And then roll the knees over to 10 on your clock while you keep your shoulder blades down and you turn the head, look along the arm. Hold to breathe in, breathing out, bring it back to 12. And then hold, and then take it over to 2 on your clock. So you're not going too far. Keeping those shoulder blades glued right down. Still just turning the head. If that's too much, of course, you just put your feet back onto the floor. And then if you would like to work that a little bit harder, then you would bring the arms into a cossack position. Hold that there. While you take your knees over, but keep your head in alignment this time. And then bring it back to center. Just take those knees as far as you can while you keep your shoulder blades glued down. Again, nice and smooth and with control. So try not to move the arms at all. There's a very great tendency to try and make your arms go in the opposite direction just to help to keep those shoulder blades down. But you're trying not to do that. You're trying to challenge your core strength by keeping the body still from the shoulder blades up. So you don't move your arms. Just take it as far as you can while you hold that there. Maybe you could try the arms up towards the ceiling, see if that's any more challenging or not. Have a little try and see. Keep engaging those tummy muscles. Take those knees as far over as you can. So nice and smooth. And then maybe one more time either side. So it's flexibility, mobility, but mainly now core strength. Waist whittling. And then when you've done equal numbers, come back to the start position. And then just put one foot down, the other foot down. And let the arms rest down by your side. And if you just want to stretch the legs out, take the arms over the top of your head and give yourself a nice big stretch through from the tips of your fingers to the tips of your toes. Stretch through those tummy muscles that you worked. And then gently please roll over onto your right side. Taking the arm back a little bit and let the head rest. If that's comfortable, remember if it's not, you can always bring the arm forward and pop a cushion underneath your head, or even have a cushion between the head and the arm. Make sure you've got a nice straight line. Check, you can just about see the tips of your toes. If you can see too much of your feet, you need to take your feet back. If you can't see your toes at all, bring the legs forward. Letting the head rest, rolling that top hip slightly forward, balancing on the hip. Make sure that shoulder stays down away from the ear. Keep the peach underneath the chin, between the chin and the chest. Lengthen through both of the legs. Put that cup of tea on the outside of your hip. And then just lift the top leg and do a little kick forward as you exhale. And inhale, bring it back. Exhale, just a little kick forward. And inhale, bring it back. And immediately, of course, you've got to switch on those tummy muscles. Now, zip up and hollow to keep that cup of tea still on the outside of the hip. And of course, once you've got it going, then you challenge your balance with where you put that left hand. Maybe you want to put it behind to open the chest and pull the shoulder back and down if you find there's too much tension going on in that top shoulder. Just turning that right palm up would make it more challenging again. You can always take the arm up towards the ceiling or even over the top of your head and bring the fingertips together, but make sure the shoulder doesn't creep forward. Keep the arm by the ear and the ear by the arm. That, of course, is a lot more challenging, so you might just want to stay with one of the other options. You can decide. And then when you have done enough, maybe with that top leg, hold it there. And then pop that top knee on the floor in front of you. Lift the bottom leg, flex the foot, push the heel away from you. Squeeze the bottom leg back as you exhale, bring it back into alignment. Just squeeze back. It doesn't really matter now where you put the left hand, because you've got the knee in front of you, so it's helping you to balance. But of course, if you wanted to work harder for your balance, then you take the top leg back over the top of the bottom leg, hold it hip height, and squeeze that bottom leg back. Make sure that bottom leg does not bend. Think about pushing the heel away from you, getting some stretch through the back of the leg, because it will be tempting to bend. If you find it's bending, just lift the leg up that little bit higher off the floor, because it means you're probably catching the thigh on the floor, which is making the knee bend. And of course, that'll make that inner thigh work harder. Then when you're ready, you take the top one forward while the bottom one goes back, and you swap. But again, you're keeping your cup of tea still on the outside of your hip. You can flex the feet or point the toes, whichever works better from the cramp in your toes point of view. And then again, you would challenge your balance with where you put that left hand. Make sure that bottom leg doesn't bend. Keep that bottom leg right up off the floor. Keep the head down, the neck relaxed. Outside hip and thighs working. This is the one where you've got a skewer going down through your hips and into the mat. And of course your tummy muscles are the skewer, keeping that pelvis absolutely stable while you do that. Remember, the legs don't have to be wide. Just exhale maybe to swap, and then inhale to swap, keeping that torso as stable as you can. Try and keep your waist lifted a little bit, just off that hot flat stone underneath. And always challenging your balance with where you put that right hand. Sorry, left hand. And And then when you think you've done enough there, buttocks working, outside hip and thigh, inner thigh working, hip flexors, but mainly it's the core to keep you stable. And then if you just want to relax back down, and then from here, take a breath in, and as you breathe out, lift that top leg up, lift the bottom leg up, and let them go down again. So just top leg, bottom leg squeeze, and down. And again, putting that top hand wherever you feel would work better for you. Challenging yourself, but keeping the pelvis as stable as you can while you do that. Outside hip and thigh, inner thigh working, core to keep you stable. Then see if you can lift the top leg, lift the bottom leg squeeze, bring that top hand in front of you. You will need it there. Flex the feet and bring the knees right up into the chest. Point the toes and fully extend the legs out without putting them on the floor. So you're flexing, and then maybe exhale to pull up right up into the chest. Breathing in, point. Breathing out to extend. So it feels like you're pushing backwards, so the legs are parallel to the edge of the mat. Breathe in to flex, breathing out to pull up, point and push. Trying to keep that torso as stable as you can while you do that. So again, you've got your outside hip and thigh working, hip flexors, and quadriceps, hamstrings, and of course getting flexibility into your hips, your knees, and your ankles, but trying to keep that torso as stable as you can while you do that. And then when you've had enough of that, you just relax back down. Maybe bring the knees into the chest, give the outside of the hip a little rub and a smack if you've got a bit of a burn going on in there. And of course you can do more repetitions if you would like to. And then you just want to gently please roll over onto your front. Lengthening through the legs. Actually, maybe take the legs out into a wider V shape. Turn big toes in towards one another. Let the buttocks relax. And then putting your right hand underneath your forehead. Extend the left arm straight out in front of you. Make sure you keep your shoulders down, away from the ears. Keep the length through the neck. Let the forehead rest. And then just take a breath in, and as you breathe out, lift the head and the shoulders off the floor, and breathing in to go down. Don't forget the peach underneath the chin, between the chin and the chest. Slide your shoulder blades down your back. So remember that you're actually lifting the shoulders, and the head will just come with it. There's no strain on the neck. Exhale up, inhale back down. Now, if you would like to work a little bit harder with that, what you could do is leave the right hand glued onto the forehead and lift and lower. And of course, then you're supporting the head with the hand a little bit, but you've got to lift the arms, so you're making your back work harder. Try and keep everything below the waist still, cup of tea on the back of the pelvis. So you've got a little bit of stabilization with that left arm. But then maybe you could take away that stabilization and lift and lower. Exhaling up and inhaling down. But of course, if that's too much, you leave the arm on the floor. You could leave both arms on the floor. So you decide which level you're going for here. Try and keep everything below the waist still. And then when you're ready, you swap to the other side, hopefully remembering how many you've done on that side. Keeping those shoulders down, make sure the shoulders don't creep up. Then start off with just the head and the shoulders first. Don't forget the peach. Keep your eyes focused on the back of the hand. So you're lifting your shoulders and the head will come with it. This is the one where you've got no neck at all. Your head grows out from the shoulders. So you lift the shoulders and the head will just come with it. Then when you're ready, if you want to, you lift the arm too, supporting the head. Sliding those shoulder blades down your back, shoulders away from the ears. keep the buttocks as relaxed as you can, but keep the tummy pulled up and in to keep everything stable from the waist down. Then if you want to, you lift the arm too. Exhaling up, inhaling down. Really starting to feel your back work now. Keep lengthening through that right arm. Just lift and lower. But remember, you don't have to do the harder version. You could leave the arm down, you can leave both arms down. And see if you can remember how many you did on the other side, because you know I can never remember that. And then just relax when you've done equal numbers and change the arms over again. Now this time, see if you can lift the upper body and the leg on the same side as the arm that is extended. So just lift and lower. But remember that you can lift the arm and the straight arm too. You decide which level you're going for here. So right hand underneath the forehead, lifting left arm and left leg. And then if you want to, you can add on to that too. So you would lift up and bend to that right side and down. Now, you might want to just think about bringing the legs back into alignment now. And lift and bend and center and down. Buttocks engaging, or at least that left one engaging. And of course, waist whittling. Keep the arm by the ear by the arm. If that's too much, you can leave the legs down. You can lift the upper body, leave the arm down, and bend, and center, and down. You decide. So lots of hard work for your core, flexibility for your spine. And then when you're ready, you swap to the other side. Those legs keep coming apart. So you can do, just lift the leg, the upper body. You can lift arm and leg, upper body. You can add the other arm in, and you can add the bend if you want to. So it's lift, bend, center, and down. Exhale up, inhale, bend, exhale back, inhale down. But the main thing is you keep your pelvis absolutely stable while you do that. Getting that waist to work, getting flexibility into your spine. And remember that you can lift up and leave that other arm down if necessary. You decide. And then when you think you've done equal numbers both sides, bring it back to start. And then come up onto the hands and knees and do a lovely angry pussycat stretch. Arch the back, drop the head, push the hips towards the head. Remember, you can always come up onto your knuckles if that's more comfortable. Drop the head and look back between the thighs. Tucking that pelvis under, and then just sit back onto the heels to stretch through the lower back and the buttocks. Let the forehead rest down. And remember, if that is not comfortable, you sit on your bottom, swing your legs round in front of you, and reach over the beach ball, big beach ball for your toes. Now, if you're in this position, walk the hands around to your right side, keeping the head down. If you're sitting, keep your buttocks glued down, and the legs straight, and the back up straight, and just walk the hands around to your right side. And you get the stretch round your middle, down the side of your body.
Now if you're in this position, you can put your left hand on top of your right hand. Even more stretch down that left side. That doesn't work if you're sitting. Just keep twisting around to the side. And then walking round to the other side. Sinking right back. Arms by the ears by the arms. Keep the head down. Then if you want to, you put that right hand on top of the left. If you're sitting, you're just sitting up tall and doing that twist to the side. Get that stretch around your middle down the side of your body. Holding that there. And then from here, we need to go on to the left side. So the best way you know how, going on to your left side. And stretching the arm out, take the arm back a little bit, then you've got that nice straight line, let the head rest. Remember, you can always get your cushion if you need to. Rolling that top hip slightly forward, waist lifted, cup of tea still. And then putting that top hand wherever you need it to be, lifting that top leg up, and then start to challenge your balance. By doing that little kick forward as you exhale, inhale, bring it back. Doesn't really matter whether you flex or point, whichever works better for you. Just moving the leg is going to challenge the balance of that cup of tea on the outside of the hip. Putting that top hand wherever you need that to be. Keep lengthening through that bottom leg because it will try to bend to help you stay balanced. It'll do it without you even knowing it, so keep actively lengthening through that bottom leg. Exhale, just kick forward. Inhale to bring it back. The outside hip and thigh working. A little bit of hip flex, a little bit of buttock. But of course, mainly the core to keep that cup of tea still. And you putting that top hand wherever you need that to be. But put it to the place which challenges you most, but that you can stay controlled. Opening the chest, pull the shoulder back and down if you want to do that one. If you find that top shoulder's creeping up around the ear. And then you can either leave that top leg where it is, and then hover the bottom leg, and squeeze the bottom leg back. Exhale to squeeze back and inhale to bring it back. But remember to keep it absolutely straight. Doesn't have to go back far. And of course you can, if that's too much, leave that top knee on the floor in front of you. Squeeze it back. Maybe flex the foot with that one, which will help to lengthen through the leg because it's very tempting to bend that bottom leg as you push it back. But if you can, you hold that top leg up and you squeeze the bottom leg back. But make sure that bottom leg really does not bend. Keep that cup of tea still and putting that top hand wherever you need it to be. And then when you're ready, you take the top one forward while the bottom one goes back, and then you swap. You put your skewer down through your hips, so you're skewered into your mat. Exhale to swap. And inhale to swap. Really got to switch on those tummy muscles, pulling up and pulling in all the time. Lengthening through the legs, keeping them right up off the floor, so it's nice and smooth and with control. The head stays down, the neck relaxed. Hip flexors, buttocks, outside hip and thigh working. A little bit of inner thigh, of course, on that bottom leg to keep it off the floor. And then when you've completed the one you're doing, just relax back down. Keep lengthening through the legs, then lift top leg, lift the bottom leg and squeeze, and lower them both down. Remember, you can put that top hand in front of you to help with the balance. And of course, your waist is working up and lower when you've got both those legs off the floor. Core working to keep you absolutely stable while you do that. Give it a good squeeze. And again, you're deciding where you put that top hand. Lengthening through those legs all the time. Keep the head down so that neck stays relaxed. Keep the chin down over the peach. Then you would see, if you can, put that top hand in front of you, lift the top leg, lift the bottom leg, squeeze, flex, and as quietly as you can, bring the knees right up into the chest, point the toes, and extend the legs. And it feels like you're pushing backwards. So you're flexing to breathe in, breathing out, squeeze right up into the chest. Point the toes and as quietly as you can push away. So you're flexing, knees to chest, keep those knees together. Inner thighs will work a little bit as well, and extend it out. So you're doing flex, pull up, point and push away. Trying to keep that torso as stable as you can. Try and keep the top shoulder down away from the ears. So it's not coming right up. Flex and pull up, point and push. And I've no idea how many I did on the other side. So you decide how many you feel you can do. Always repeating again if you want to. Find that my body is moving a little bit further up the mat. And then just relax and take it down, or repeat and do some more if you want to. Then just bring the knees forward. Give the outside of the hip a little rub and a smack, just to get rid of any burn that you might possibly have got going on in there. And then gently, please, rolling over onto your back, but come up onto your elbows if that is comfortable for you. If it's not, don't worry, I'll give you an alternative in a moment. And then just extending the legs out, brace the tummy. Keep the shoulders down, keep your chin down over your peach, looking forward over the tops of your toes. And then take a breath in. As you breathe out, just reach forward with one arm and breathe in to bring it back. And then exhale the other arm out and breathe in to bring it back. And of course, you're bracing your tummy. So doing alternate reaches forward without moving your torso at all. Keep the chin down over the peach. Keep the shoulders down away from the ears. Now, if that is no good for the shoulders or the elbows, just roll gently down onto your back. And you can either just put the hands on the thighs, breathing in, nod your head, breathing out, curl up, reach up to the tops of the knees and roll back down. Remember, you can support the head with one hand or both hands if you need to. You could do that, or if that's no good, you could just stay with a pelvic tilt and work it from the other end. Still working those deep, deep abdominal muscles. Just bring the hip bones into the bottom of the rib cage. But if you can, you're up on your elbows with the legs nice and straight, and you're doing alternate arm reaches forward without moving your shoulders at all. It's quite tough, but I'm going to make it tougher. See if you can. Take one arm out, other arm out, first arm back, second arm back. And then you start with the other arm, obviously alternating the arm that you start with. So it's out, out, in and in, and while keeping your torso at exactly the same place. So maybe exhale, out, out, inhale, back and back. And of course, making sure that you keep everything else, apart from the arms, still. Maybe point the toes, helping to keep the legs anchored down. So you keep your body at exactly the same angle. But if that's too much, of course you could stay with the alternate single arm. You can decide. So really feel those deep, deep stabilizer muscles working. And don't forget to breathe. Try not to hold your breath. Now you decide how many you would like to do. And then we've completed equal numbers on both sides. Remember, you can always do more. Just relax back down. Take the arms over the top of your head. Stretch through from the tips of your fingers to the tips of your toes. Lift the rib cage out of the pelvis. Lengthen down the front of your body. Those muscles that you've just worked, stretch them out. And then maybe cross the right ankle over the left ankle. Take hold of your right wrist with your left hand and do a big bend to your left side. Keep the hips on the floor, the shoulders on the floor, head down, and lift the rib cage away from the hips. If that is not comfortable, Just take the arms down by your side if the shoulders don't like that, and then reach down the seam of the trouser leg. Still got that stretch down the right side. And then when you're ready, swapping to the other side. Arms down by the side if it is not comfortable. Take that upper body as far over as you can and give a little tug on that left wrist with the right hand and just lengthen down the side. Big stretch. And then release, bringing the body back into alignment. Slide the feet in and the knees are up, feet flat on the floor. Stretch the fingertips towards the toes, getting the length in the neck. Cross your right ankle over your left knee to get the stretch of the outside of the hip and thigh. If you want to increase the intensity, you can lift your left heel, you can just lift the left foot even, that will bring the legs further in, more stretch. Or you can hold on behind that left thigh and hug the legs right in. Keep the head down, the chin down over the peach. And if you're doing that, you can also use your right arm to ease the leg out. Just that little bit more. Just push the elbow into that right thigh and ease the leg out. Get more stretch. You decide which position gives you the best stretch. And then replacing the feet and change legs. Heel up, foot up, hands behind. And just ease the leg out if you want to with your left elbow. Just ease it out that little bit more. Get a really good stretch. From the outside hip and thigh down into the buttock. And then replacing the feet to the floor because you work your inner thighs also. Bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees just flop apart. Stretch those inner thighs. Remember, you can always slide your heels a little bit closer in towards your body and just let the weight of those legs stretch those inner thighs. Relax, keeping the chest open. And then from there, bring the knees up again, feet flat on the floor. And then just hug the right knee into the chest. Stretch into the buttock briefly. And then straighten the leg up towards the ceiling. Hold on behind the thigh or the calf, or even the front of the trouser leg or your sock. And just ease the leg in. Keep the leg nice and straight so you can feel that stretch in the hamstring. If you want to increase the intensity, you can extend the left leg along the floor, but if that right knee starts to bend, then slide the left leg back in again. Just ease it in. It just helps to lengthen that hamstring, keeping the buttock glued down. And then replacing the foot, keep the knee bent, and then hug the other knee in. Just give a little bit of a stretch through the buttock, and then straighten the leg up. Hold that there. Just ease the leg in. Make sure it keeps nice and straight. And if you want to, you can extend the other leg. But, as I say, if you bend the knee, slide that right leg back in again. Keep the neck relaxed, shoulders relaxed, head and shoulders stay on the floor. And then just replace the foot to the floor. And then I think it's probably relaxation time now. So if you would like to get your cushion, if you need it for your head, and maybe a little blanket to keep you warm, maybe adjust the lighting a little bit, and don't forget to have some nice low Christmas music playing in the background. And then when you've got your cushion, etc., just make yourself comfortable. And if you can, at least to start with, just stretch the legs out. And then let your head roll from side to side and ease out any tension in the neck. Just let the head roll nice and gently side to side. And then just find a comfortable position for your head. Just let it rest. And then turning the palms up by your side. Stretch the fingertips out as you exhale and inhale to release. Exhale, extend the fingers out and inhale to release. Stretching the fingertips out and then release. And just let the arms rest down by your side
with the palms up if that's comfortable. If it's not, just wherever is comfortable for you. And then push the heels away from you as you exhale and inhale to release. Exhale, push the heels away from you and inhale to release. And again, flexing the feet and then inhale to release. And just allow your feet to flop apart. If it is not comfortable with your legs straight, then of course just bend one knee or even both knees back up again. And then pressing your back into the mat as you exhale and inhale to release. Press the tummy button into the backbone, press right down into that grape and release. So just tilting the pelvis and releasing. And then just allow your tummy to soften and relax. If you haven't already done so, allow your eyes to close, becoming comfortably closed. Being aware of your breathing, the temperature of the room, and become aware of any noises around you, maybe in the street or around the house. And just allow those noises to fade into the background, to be of no concern. Being totally aware of your body as you rest on your mat and you breathing. Focusing on your body and your breathing. And then taking a few moments to go through your body and breathe out any areas of tightness or tension that are left there after your exercise. Breathing out and relaxing. With each and every out breath, you're going to become more and more relaxed. So beginning with the muscles around your head and face. Allow your brow to become smooth and wide. Wipe away any frown. Make sure you're not scrunching up your eyes. Allow your eyelids to soften. Allow your cheeks to become soft and smooth. Make sure you're not clenching your jaw. Allow your jaw to drop a little. And allow your tongue to rest in the base of your mouth. Let the muscles of your head and face relax. Turning your attention to the back of your neck and shoulders. Smooth and wipe away any areas of knots or tension. Allow your shoulders and your shoulder blades to melt into the mat. Let the muscles of your neck and shoulders relax. Breathing out and relaxing. And then focus on your arms as they rest by your side. From your shoulders, over your elbows and wrists, and into your fingertips. Make sure your fingers aren't curled tightly. Allow your arms to become heavy. sinking into some warm sand. Breathing out, and allow those arms to sink into the warm sand. Let the muscles of your arms relax. And then focus now on your back as it rests on the mat. Allow those little muscles from the back of your neck all the way down into the base of your spine to soften and spread. Let the muscles of your back relax. Now think about the muscles in the front of your body. Be aware of your chest rising and falling as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Imagine a huge weight has been lifted off your chest, allowing you to breathe freely and easily. Let the muscles of your tummy soften and relax. And just be aware of your upper body, now sinking down into the warm sand, becoming heavy with each and every out breath. Breathing out and relaxing. And then thinking about the lower part of your body. Your hips, buttocks, thighs, and legs and feet. Make sure your buttocks aren't clenching tightly. Allow your thighs to become soft and smooth, heavy, sinking down the hips and the thighs and the buttocks into the warm sand. Make sure that your calves aren't clenching tightly. Let your knees relax. Allow all of those muscles to soften and spread. Let the muscles of your legs become heavy, sinking down into the warm sand. Let the muscles of your legs relax. And pay attention to your feet. From your ankles and heels, all the way down to the tips of your toes. Make sure your toes aren't clenching tightly. Be aware of warm air circulating around your feet. Allow your feet just to flop apart a little. Let the muscles of your feet relax. Breathe out and relax. Just allow your body to sink down into that warm sand. From the top of your head all the way down to the tips of your toes. Breathe out any tightness that you might still have in there and relax. You have nothing else to do for the next few moments but relax. Anything that you need to do later will be done better for taking the time now to relax. Breathe out and relax. And just gradually become aware of yourself lying on your mat. Become aware of your body and your breathing. Gradually becoming aware of the sounds around you and the temperature of the room. And then when you're ready, in your own time, taking this feeling of relaxation away with you, open your eyes and come back into the room. And just take your arms over the top of your head and give yourself a nice big stretch through from the tips of your fingers to the tips of your toes. And then if you just want to gently, please roll over onto your front. Take the forehead down onto the back of one hand, reach behind with the other hand for the foot on the same side. Bring the heel into the bottom, the knees together, press the hip into the floor, stretch the front of the thigh. Remember, if you can't get the foot, you get hold of the sock or the trouser leg, or you cross the other ankle in and just ease the leg in. Also, you can lift head and shoulders if you want to, but keep your eyes focused on the back of the hand, so there's no strain on the neck. Pressing that hip right down. And then when you're ready, just change legs. Heel to bottom, knees together, press the hip down, head and shoulders lifted if you feel you need that extra stretch. Don't forget the peach underneath the chin. And when you've had a good stretch there, replacing the foot to the floor, coming up onto the hands and knees, and then let's just do a lovely angry pussycat stretch. Arch the back, drop the head, pull the tummy button up and in, dropping the head right down. And you can always come up onto your knuckles if you feel that would help. Just tucking that pelvis under, nice and tight, still got the tummy pulled up. And then just relax and come into a sitting position. And I hope you feel nice and relaxed now and ready for Christmas. Please have a lovely Christmas. And I am going to do some sessions just over Christmas. The week after Christmas, just after Boxing Day, there'll be a half-hour one to do for that week. And then just after New Year, there'll be another half an hour one. So not a full session, but at least there'll be something there. And also, with those 2 half-hour sessions, maybe you could use those at a later date to kind of intersperse with other ones, or if you don't have time, you could just use those half-hour sessions. So that's the plan anyway. But have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas with your family and keep well, stay safe and as sane as possible.